Yo, nephew, hand me that Barstool. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best Conor 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best Conor 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. Fresh and clean.
Welcome to 21st in Prime. I'm here with my co-host, who's the most, Jamie Dukes, and it seems as though we have a trend going now.
Okay.
Now, Evander Holyfield says it ain't no fun unless I can have some. I want some of Mike Tyson. Yeah. All that getting, the Bible said get understanding.
But here's the thing.
Evander wants some understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Now, this one concerns me.
What is that?
This one concerns me because I think somebody could get hurt in this one. You know I didn't get that other ear.
No, you got to stop that.
Okay.
You got to stop.
The other ear was...
Evander
I was told little seasoning,
Holyfield,
spices.
I know him. You know him. We know Mike. But Evander ain't doing no exhibition.
No. That's what I'm saying. This is the one, for your concern about the other fights, this is the one that concerns me now.
What?
Because I think this could get real. You know, I think there was a lot of détente, nice between Roy and
they were in
just
different weight divisions.
Well, but it wasn't even that. It was much as to me. It was much as Roy and Tyson. They just kind of we're gonna do this.
No, it wasn't
thing.
no history.
Right.
There's history here.
Yeah.
There's history, and you could apologize to me all you want.
Yeah.
You could take me to dinner.
Yeah.
You could buy me a little something for Christmas or the holidays or even for my birthday.
But I like your ears.
But when you bite my ear
I like your ears,
off,
damn. They're cute. They're very cute.
Come on, dog. When you bite my ear off, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Because I can forgive you, but I ain't gonna forget. So there's a problem inside with Evander.
Now, let me ask you this question. Well, there's a problem with Tyson, too, now.
What you mean?
Tyson is Tyson, I think Roy was probably the only guy that Tyson may not have tried to kill. If you think about anybody he could have fought. That was a nice, fair, we never had no beef. This one right here, to your point.
I don't know about that. When you say Tyson is Tyson, Tyson is the Tyson we know, and I love him with all my heart. So when somebody say I love him with all my heart,
I'm listening. What's coming?
Tyson's last several fights before the last one wasn't that good, dog.
Right.
They wouldn't.
But the question is, but if you watch, but see here again now, this goes back to what you said. Now you talked about grown men fight.
Jamie,
if you watch him work out,
let's just get this out because it's in my spirit.
All right.
This is one of the saddest moments I've ever witnessed in sports.
Really?
I'm not lying. That what I'm about to say.
Okay.
One of Tyson's last fights.
Mm-hmm.
I think it ended in a knockout, or he just said, "I can't do it."
One of those. Right.
But he was walking out of the ring to the locker room,
mm-hmm.
and the fans was throwing things at him.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea the effect that it had on me. Mm-hmm. That hurt my soul.
You're a champion.
But that hurt my soul.
Yeah,
how can it turn? How can it get that way? You throwing stuff at me, man?
Yeah.
Because I didn't give you what you want.
Yeah.
That allowed me to understand that you don't love me, you love what I do. And
correct.
When I ceased to do what I did, the love is gone.
Now I got to go sidebar.
I feel like Cabbage Patch because that was some good game there.
Pick up where a statement you've always told people. Don't love something that can't love you back. Talk about that.
Never love something that can't love you back. See, this game, this boxing, this job, this career, it does not have the ability to love you back.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you love it? You can love what you do and how you do it, but you can't allow yourself to be that vulnerable to love. But when I saw them throwing things at Mike Tyson, our hero, our hood champion, the world champion, that dude that put
youngest champion
in
ever,
everybody's heart, you throwing stuff at him because it ended up in a way that you could have fathomed.
But what if on the other side, what if you punked down $200 for a ticket and the dude walked out
$20.
$200 for a
Yeah, but
ticket.
he-
If he walked out the ring
It
on
ain't
you,
like
you
he-
paid $200.
No, it ain't
I'm
like
just
the
asking.
Dude, it ain't
I'm
it
asking.
ain't like the dude who walked out before the fight even started. Now, it's a brother did that. You seen that? Oh no, dog. It's a dude who walked out before it started. I'm
Was
gone.
that Nate Robinson? Did he walk out?
No, you need to stop.
What? No.
You leave Nate alone.
What? I'm just.
But dog, that hurt my heart.
No, I get that.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, but all I'm saying is, number one, to answer that is, I believe now, 20 years or 15 years removed, people aren't going to remember that aspect. I think
That's a
people.
lie.
I think people are interested in seeing
people
what
don't
happened.
Forget.
Right, but the people buying this ticket may not care that way. What I'm saying, I believe there is a market for it.
For what?
For
To
this
see
fight.
Tyson hold, oh yeah, this is a great
This
market.
is
Because it's
yeah,
history.
Yeah, and my concern goes
It's
back to the
history.
concern that you had with the Mayweather Paul situation. See, I know, in my belief,
But that's not history there.
well, no, but I'm saying, but I don't think, in my belief, watching the two, I don't think Paul can hurt him. I mean, yeah, anything can happen with boxing. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
But I think I've watched Mayweather skill, and he's, like I said, he might be the smartest athlete maybe ever to play
Yes.
in professional sports in general,
Yes.
and how he's created his binky and all of that stuff.
Right.
But that said, this fight right here, you have two world champions who done knocked a lot of people out, and there's a lot of pride. And I know that the media piece of this thing, because we're in this versus environment now, are going to ratchet that thing up. So I am concerned somebody
Which one
might get
could
hurt.
you go to cut a deal? Which one would be more vulnerable to say, "Hey, man," like if you're the promoter and you say, "Look, fellas, we got to at least go a couple rounds. We got to last because we want the pay-per-views up. So, some people may be checking in late, but we need to go at least a few rounds before it gets really real." Which one you think could cut that deal? Would say, you know what, I agree. Yeah, I do that. I do that.
I don't think there's one.
So you think
You make, because you set it up.
when the gloves tap?
Because see, I'm remembering now, whether it be Evander remembering what happened there, or whether it be, because I think Tyson lost both those fights. My memory's so bad now. I believe he lost both those fights or whatever.
No, it was one early on. I believe I may be mistaken. One early on, but
We gotta look that
they
up.
got disqualified. That's when
Is
everybody
that
jumped
what
in
the
the
DQ?
ring.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Evander ultimately won. I think Evander technically has won both of those
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, I
because I
think
think
'cause he was
Tyson got
disqualified.
Right, he got disqualified.
True.
Right. So there's the unfitness business there, and so I'm just curious. I'm really nervous about this one to go to a point that you made.
I don't know if there's another one out there that we would desire to see as people who could still perform it. Like any matches.
Well, there's always the guy you mentioned before, the
Who?
Brit.
Who?
Oh, the Brit.
Who's the Brit?
Lennox Lewis.
Ain't nobody finna get in there with Lennox
Well,
Lewis.
well, you wait. You asked the question. That's not the question.
Ain't nobody get in there with Lennox
You
Lewis.
said fight we would want to see.
Ain't nobody getting there with. Ain't nobody that
Well,
crazy.
see, that's a different
Ain't nobody
question.
getting in there now.
You just said it.
Lennox left beating folks down. He left being that dude. I do think Sugar Ray would try to get in there if given the right
He's
opportunity.
just too small, though. He's just.
No, I'm talking about somebody.
Oh,
his
somebody
size.
his size.
Yeah. But in age.
Now that's a real seniors
age.
tour right there. Let me congratulate you,
wait,
Coach. I
Have
want
I
to move
ever
on.
told you about when I got in the ring with Hearns?
No,
I actually, 'cause, I'm
Sure.
I'm good with these things.
I understand.
Man on man,
Right, right.
not regular dude on boxing,
Right.
but man on man, I've been known to be good with these things.
Right.
I was going through Detroit. It is the height of prime,
Mm-hmm.
and my man was having a little exhibition thing. I think we were. I don't know if it was in a Coliseum or a mall or something. Hearns was that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
hitman,
that guy.
the
Comes,
hitman.
yes.
So I got in there, and before we did, I said, nah, not now,
Nah.
now is for another language.
Right.
When a brother say, nah, you listen.
I'm talking brother to
Nah,
brother. now.
brother.
Brother
Nah,
now.
don't hit me, dog. Come on now, I'm just doing this for the love. Don't hit me. Cool, bro. I ain't gonna hit you. Yeah, I got you. Dog, we got in that ring, and my quickness, I started feeling good, started floating like a butterfly, and jab. Then that joker had his head tilted down, and he just started cutting that ring off. and ain't had nowhere to go. Dog, he cut that ring off, and ain't had nowhere to go. I said, hey, don't stop. Oh, you better hit me, man. Dog, I'm not lying. That fear, dog. It was something that came
Right,
out
because
of
you
me.
knew what was going to happen.
I knew what was going to happen. Moments after that.
You knew what was
Because he
gonna happen.
cut that thing off and tilted the head.
Right.
Then, dog, then he pinned me against the ropes and pinned my arms where I couldn't even lift my arms up. And my face was just sitting there like,
Wait.
I was like, dog, stop.
Right.
Ralph, stop.
Right.
I'm not lying, dog.
Right.
True story. So I told myself, man, this ain't no joke up in here. He cut that ring off, man. I ain't have nowhere to go.
But for that same expertise, that's why when we were having a conversation about Floyd, I mean, that's why I knew I feel confident in Floyd being smart enough. No, because like I said, he ain't gonna lose. Floyd is not gonna lose here before he do anything. He's just too smart for that. But this one right here.
But what is a loss? See, you got to constitute what is a loss. You keep thinking a knockout is a loss for Floyd. If this dude lands just decisively and consistently, if he gets one where buckles him, that's a win for him, dog.
No, and that's okay. But again, I still believe going back to Floyd and his skill, just what you described with the hitman. That dude still ain't a boxer. He boxes.
He's boxes.
There's a difference between boxes and
a
being that guy
boxer.
and that guy you talking about. And I just believe, and then that's just maybe I got too much faith in Floyd.
I know there's
I
some
might have
money
too much
out
faith
there,
in him.
but that's just like me covering a cat off the street. The cat ain't Jerry, it ain't Mike, it ain't Andre Rise, Andre Reed, Chris Carter, Randy. It ain't none of them dogs. But he still got the opportunity to get me if I'm slipping.
But Floyd, see the difference to me with Floyd just retired last year before last. He didn't retire 20 years.
He retired a while back.
No, it ain't been that long.
The MMA fighter was not a boxing match. What's the Conor McGregor?
McGregor.
Come on now, that one.
Even if it was 4 years ago, still it's 4 years and not 20.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he's training and doing what he does there for this guy because Floyd done watched everyone his tape 10 times already before he took that deal.
Floyd, but the risk. That dude is going for just the risk.
Yeah, but I think Floyd is seeing I can for $200 million because he's gonna make $200 million.
I get enough for that.
That's what he.
I get enough for half
Floyd
of that.
and his streaming
Matter of
package.
fact, I get enough with Tyson for that.
With his streaming package and all
With
that stuff, that's what he's
trike
going to.
cleats on.
Yeah.
I get enough with some trikes.
Would you run up and down?
No.
Speaking of cleats, let's shift gears, Coach. I want to congratulate you, sir. It ain't about you. I'm going to congratulate. Jackson State University.
Well,
the number one in FBS recruiting
no.
class.
While you talking, I just need them to put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Number one and say that is?
FBS recruiting and
FCS.
FCS. Excuse me. FCS recruiting.
Number one.
And then
number one in HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
And we were top 40 in all of college football, but we landed another 4-star, so we should be bumped up. In that aspect, you should look at the schools who are behind us. The budgets.
You mentioned budgets.
The resources that they have.
Talk about resources, budgets. I mean,
I pray to God that one day, when I talk about leveling the playing field, we're talking about just having equality and opportunity. Like if I'm bringing somebody on campus to see our campus, I ain't got to tell you to come in this way. Don't come in the other way now.
Right. I don't want you
to see that.
Right.
Come in this way. I don't have to strategically take you on a course to make sure you see the best of because I ain't worried. That's leveling the playing field.
I'm going to give you a tease here. This is for the next segment, and you're going to have to hear me. There's a senator by the name of Cory Booker.
Yes.
Who has opened your door. It's a tease.
I know what you're talking about.
We ain't gonna talk about it right now.
Don't tease me.
But it's gonna require you.
I know what you're talking about.
It's gonna require you.
I know what you're talking about.
It's gonna
require. I welcome it.
It's gonna require
a lot of coaches
you.
are reluctant to talk about it.
It's gonna require you.
I know what
coming
you're
up in our next segment. We're gonna go to break here in a second. But coming up in that segment, we're gonna talk about that because he opened your door. He opened the HBCU door. and we're going to
Was
talk.
it the HBCU door or all the doors?
No.
We might be talking about two different
No.
doors.
We may be, but it's
Okay.
you ultimately have a vision. What you told the people when you came to Jackson State was, we someday want to be able to play in this kind of bowl,
Yep.
and we want to play with these other teams. Did I hear
Yep.
that? He opened that door.
That's another door. Because it's another door I'm talking about too.
Okay. We'll talk about that door. You want to talk about that?
I'm talking about the door which now it seems reality that in 2021, I believe in August, that collegiate athletes will be paid for their name and likeness, will be compensated for that. And I love it. A lot of coaches are reluctant to speak about it, to have a quote about it. I love it. Jamie, I did that way back in the 80s. When I was a junior at Florida State, I left that summer to go play professional baseball with the Yankees organization.
Get that cheddar.
Yeah, I got that check.
Get that cheddar.
Made a few bills. But what that did, that qualified me to be a walk-on because I was a professional in this, but still an amateur over here. But I had to forego my scholarship. The Yankees compensated and paid for my scholarship. But since I had accepted professional money, I'm a walk-on. So I understood now it's a little different when I could justify things. I could justify getting on the plane with a Italian suit, with a Louis luggage, with a neck full way back in the 80s. I could justify having a car, phone in the dash. You ain't know about that with the phones in the dash right there.
Yeah.
That little barrel.
It wasn't the phone.
No, it wasn't no big one. But I hit that button, the top went back slowly but surely. I could justify that because I had been compensated for my game, name as well as likeness. Now, I'm happy that these kids are now going to be compensated. I'm going to help them because a lot comes with that. You don't think about the family mess and stress of, you got money now, you ain't going to break us off. Having a kid understanding how to allocate that and how to manage that is tremendous. And I'm going to help them do so.
Now, one of the barriers has to be everybody feels they have to eat too, right? That's going to be a barrier. You do know that.
True.
Right? When we come back, we're going to talk about how everybody gets to eat. Boys and girls, no Title IX, none of that foolishness. Everybody gets to eat. You're listening to 21st Century.
Barstool Sports, baby.
Let's talk about our friends at Policy Genius. Dion, it's so funny. Money's tight, and I know big-time coach. But at the end of the day, still, money's tight for families. And so you have to, just like everyone else, you have to pick and choose what you're going to do, how you do it, how you manage your money. And our friends at Policy Genius, they have a strategy for helping you save money on your home and auto, and particularly when you think about bundling. They have the ability, they've got professional licensed insurance experts that are going to help you save money. Think about this. Policy Genius combines their cutting-edge insurance marketing technology to help insurers save as much as $1,000 a year. And it's just that simple. What we want you to do is log on to policygenius.com, that's policygenius.com, and take advantage. And really, it's very simple. First, head to Policy Genius, as I just mentioned, answer a few quick questions, and that tells you about yourself and what you're doing, tells you about your property. Then Policy Genius does the rest. They'll compare rates with over 30 of the top insurers, that includes Progressive, Nationwide, to find you the absolute lowest rate. Their licensed experts will look at all the ways to maximize your savings, including bundling your home and auto policy. If Policy Genius can find you a better rate, they will do that. Policy Genius also has a strategy to help you save money when it's all said and done. So we want you to log on to policygenius.com. That's policygenius.com, and check out the opportunities that they have for you. That kind of service has earned Policy Genius a 5-star rating across over 1,600 reviews on Trustpilot and Google. Let me say that again. The service you're getting, the quality of the service you're getting, has earned Policy Genius a 5-star rating at over 1,600 different, using 1,600 different reviews. So what we want you to do again, log on to policygenius.com. They will get you started today. Welcome back to 21st Prime. As we talked about, Senator Cory Booker, Senator Blumenthal have introduced legislation that I believe the act's called the College Student Bill of Rights. Here's something that we have to look at. everybody's going to be concerned because, see, a soccer player or a wrestler, boy or girl, whatever, where am I in the paradigm? Okay. And so one of the simple things to do, and again, and this now goes to the football side of what I was mentioning, is money. Problem the NCAA is going to have is they want to keep their money, even though they want, and they're going to want something from the government. They're going to want an antitrust exemption. We're just having a conversation. This will happen and unfold. Just keep your eye on this. They're going to want some kind of exemption similar to what the NFL, because they got to get the heat off them, because they're losing every single Fred Jones, Sarah Jones. I want my likeness. That's why they're here. Okay. Now, the way we pay for it all is real simple. Right now, the TV package. Well, here's some numbers for you. The NCAA, according to their website, they got 180,000 Division I, Division II scholarship athletes. That costs $3.6 billion in scholarships.
Wow.
Okay, hang on. Now, that number apparently is being taken care of as it is, right? Because they're making money, right? Now, the way we can find the money to do some of these other things, because there's no reason why they can't set up, for these players, whether it be any of your kids here or any place else, scholarship athlete, male and female, trust, okay, off revenue generated from the brand now being this college football, whatever.
Okay, you lost me now.
Okay.
You're saying the brand.
In other words,
because I'm thinking about the man, not the brand.
No,
because everybody's not the brand.
Well, that's my point. But with these things that always happen where things die, because this thing is dead on arrival if everybody don't eat. When it's all said,
No, I don't believe that, because everybody ain't eating in the NFL. There's a level to this.
Correct, but to
There's
number,
a level
but
to
there's
this.
but the difference.
The dog on the team and the dude who holding the kick ain't the same.
But this is going to have to be voted on. There's a lot that has to go into.
Okay.
I just, from what we've seen historically, unless you to me solve the problems that could come up and make it idiot proof.
Well, you have cost of attendance, which kids are being compensated.
Everybody.
Yes. You have at some colleges.
No,
Not
you
all
said
colleges.
you
everybody can't afford that.
That's my point. This is my point.
Jamie, what I'm saying is, unless we have a television contract.
Now you're getting to it, Coach. Listen to me, Coach.
Unless we have a brand that you will love to witness, that's the equality that I'm talking about.
Listen to the money.
I'm fighting for that equality.
That's what I'm telling.
Everybody's not equal right now.
But that's how we handle it. So here we go. So follow this. So we tell the powers that be, you keep all the money that you've had.
Who's the powers?
Powers that be, NCAA, and how we chopping up the money and all of the stuff, how they chopping up the bowls, the university, how y'all chopping up.
Cool.
If we bring fresh money in here.
Who is fresh money?
Fresh money is any additional dollars that come from what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
What we're talking about is expanding, number one, the playoff system in the NCAA.
Yeah, how many games you want, dog?
No. Playoffs. I want to go to 8.
No, dog.
Here's why I want to go to 8. Here's how.
What you already playing 11, 12 games.
No.
That's a lot of games.
They finish in November.
Yeah,
here's why, Coach.
In December. Well, really, the end of November.
That's what I'm saying.
That's too many
but
games.
here's why I want that. Here's why I want to expand this thing 4 games. Because number one, we know with the expansion of the games, we can bring in the money.
That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Why not?
Talking about
I'm trying to get.
That ain't got nothing to do with us.
You won't let me finish
get
it.
to it.
I have to say
You
because
dating
you can't
me right now.
No,
I don't want to date me. Come at me. You're dating me.
What I'm
don't
saying
I don't
to
want to go to
you
Dairy Queen
is
or none of that. Let's go. Let's get to it.
In the
Shoot.
expansion.
Come at it.
In the expansion.
Come get it.
In the expansion
Come
of the
right
8
at it.
games. I'm coming at it. At the expansion of the 8 games, one of those slots is for an HBCU school. One of those additional spots, the best of whatever the best of the best is coming out of the HBCU, they get the 7th or 8th slot, depending on wherever they rank them at. But you got an 8-team tournament instead of 4. You put an HBCU, you put now Division III, whatever, however they want to do that, whatever they're doing over, you get that slot, and then now you open up because see, here's the problem.
Slow down now. You start turning it into
No, it's 8. No, it's 8 teams.
because you got my attention.
No, it's 8 teams. One of those slots goes to an HBCU, the best of the HBCUs, period.
Okay.
The other slot, hang on.
Who you playing against?
That's a different animal. That's you. If you want in the tournament, you want in the tournament, Coach. You want in or not?
I want in.
Okay, then stop right there. You need to ask who we playing. Now, second to that is
I got to make sure you ain't setting me up for no.
No, well, you got. Hey,
No
you
Tyson
got to be
versus a bantamweight fight, man.
It could be, and then you might have to go have that conversation with Nick. Hey, look here, Nick. If this
No,
thing get out of control, I'm just saying.
Ain't
But
no
the
mercy.
business model is sound. So let's finish up. So now, because the system is already messed up because there's 5 BCS school or whatever they call them, Power 5 conferences, and every year somebody gets left out. Who are we to judge? Case in point, Ohio State. They got 5 or 6 games that they played. How do they get to possibly be in this year because they're undefeated? So my point is everybody who's a conference should at least have the right to play one team representing their conference because they pay the money.
Everybody who's a conference.
Everybody who's in
everybody
every
who's a
team,
conference.
the 5 conferences, 5 Power 5s. You got an HBCU slot, and then you got 2 at large because you know Alabama,
Okay,
the SEC going.
Everybody else gonna holler too.
No,
Not
they
just
can't.
HBCU. Everybody else gonna put a
I
hand
can't.
up. Saying,
I can't.
Me.
All I know here's
The
what.
Ivy League's gonna be hollering me.
No,
Me.
the Ivy Leagues can play.
Me.
The Ivy Leagues they can play in there. You can,
But I'm saying they
you
gonna
can
be
no. But
hollering
I'm
too.
saying you have 2 more at larges because the 5th spot's got to go to the 5th conference. 5th spot got to go to the 5th conference. Just equity in
I
general.
like what you're saying. I'm a little lost in the interpretation, but I like.
Well, the
what you're getting at.
interpretation is money. Adding 4 more games. You could raise $2-3 billion. Adding in television and blah 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 blah. Now let's talk about the numbers. Let's go back to that 180,000. And somebody can go do the math at home. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that 180,000. We just added 1.8 B to the TV package for those 4 games and all. That's $10,000 for each one of those cities. Male, $10,000 per year. $10,000 per year that can go in the trust of every one of the scholarship student athletes. That's the numbers. But where you would have to fight, because again, to me, it's going to take. This all sounds good now,
sure do.
and it's going to go forward. But I'm saying, what's going to run out? What's going to happen is, and by the way, the Chevy Silverado interview of the day, CC Sabathia, he's coming up here in just a minute, and that's going to be interesting. But the whole point of this is this: we have got to
That's a
create.
big fella. I wonder.
Yes.
Could he have played football too? He ain't no little dude.
No, he's not.
He ain't no little dude.
He's not. But
I guarantee he has a football background.
But you gave me a piece of revelation about, and I'm going to remember, it's a conversation we had about Lee Smith. I can't wait to ask him this question about a revelation I had about baseball, to see whether it's true or not. And we'll talk about that next. You're watching 21st and Prime. Remember, swipe up at 21st and Prime. Swipe up for all of those Christmas gifts that are happening out there. We got merch out there, great
Lot of
pricing
merch.
on merch.
Nice merch.
Nice merch. We'll be right back.
Yeah, this for prime time.
Coming up on the Chevy Silverado play of the day, CC Sabathia, the big man. He joins us to talk. Let's talk about Chevy Silverado for a minute. When you think about, there's just certain words that just kind of come to mind. Strong, dependable, hardworking, advanced technology. You know, there are multiple uses for the Chevy Silverado. When you think about it, whether it be, we football players, we're athletes. It could be great for tailgating. We're here at Jackson State University. Imagine pulling coach's trailer around with that. But hauling, towing, whether that be boats, he got so many boats. He got this big boat in Puerto Rico, huge boat in Puerto Rico. I mean, but you can haul everything you want to haul with that. Moving day. We got students on campus. Sometimes they load the truck up back with the kids' bags and then drop them off. And, if you want to kick them out, go ahead and kick them out and keep the Chevy Silverado and keep it moving. But the main thing we want you to do is make sure you understand that Chevy Silverado, it's built for you. Chevy Silverado, it's built for your family. And so what we want you to do is enjoy the Chevy Silverado play of the day with CC Sabathia.
This is the man, Jamie. I was excited about this gentleman right here for a multitude of reasons. First of all, he's a brother's brother. He's a dog. He has that it. That thing that make you want to watch him, that make you want to get to know him. The way he kicks his hat. The way he wears his
Oh, it's not that heater? It's not the gas? It's not the cheese?
I ain't even got to that
So we're not
yet.
talking about the cheese? You're talking about something else?
Yeah,
Okay, something
I
else.
wasn't there to deal with it.
Okay,
I'm glad
yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
there to deal with it. But he is that dude, man. CC Sabathia. What's up, my brother?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
How you feeling?
Good. I got to start off by saying, though, Prime, I got real close with Steve Donahue. the trainer.
Yes.
And he said he had you a lot early, so all he talked about was stories about you. So I feel like I know you. You know what I'm saying?
Half is true, half is not, half is true. I was so blind and dumb and naive about the big leagues that I'm serious. I was so naive. I didn't understand who the Yankees were when I was playing. I really didn't. I didn't. I remember one time I ran out of bats or something. I just went and grabbed the bat from the bat thing, and it was Steve Sack's bat. He's like, "You can't do that, man." I said, "What you mean? It's a bat. You got a million bats in. What you mean?" I thought everything was everything. We're a team, right? I didn't know it was little things like that. I did not know, man. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then you know those unwritten rules, and you know, especially in that big leagues. Now it's not like that, but early, they had those unwritten rules where, you know, guys just were kept to themselves and didn't really help you out. Now it's a lot different though.
Oh my God, did it? What? You know, I can remember though, Ricky Henderson, man. I was like a fan playing it with Ricky Henderson, watching everything he did and how he moved, and the little tips or stealing bases, and I was just in awe. But at that time, a lot of Ricky did, Claudette Washington did, but a lot of the vets, they didn't help you, man. You was just there because I guess they felt that you were about to take their job or you were there for a reason. So I'm not going to help you bench me. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
That was a big thing that nobody was going to help you. And the guys that did, you always ended up really close with. Like I still have relationships with the guys that helped me when I was a rookie, but for the most part, you was on your own. You had to find out. You had to figure out stuff on your own.
Let's go back in history a little bit because I do want to know. Cali guy, big time pitcher. Who were your influences as a child? You know, and what got you? Because we're gonna find out about why you weren't playing tight end. We're gonna figure that out a little bit later on in the program. But what led you to baseball?
You know what? Growing up, I grew up in California, in Vallejo, in the Bay Area, and it was a baseball city. You know, we played other sports. We played soccer. Grew up playing football, basketball, and I grew up in the era where Prime was doing his thing and Bo Jackson. So, you know, it was easy to be a dual sport athlete back then. But baseball was just something that we played in the hood, and everybody played it. Like it wasn't, you know, one of those anomaly things where, you know, it was a few kids playing it. Like literally, we all did it, and we played really good. We were really good, our little league.
Stay right there though, because you know we've had conversation about baseball and why it, as far as the African American community is going, it's pretty much, and you can illustrate. You're talking about how expensive it is.
Because now when you said little league baseball, little league on. Let's get that straight. Now it's all select. And if you don't have at least $2,500 per player, and mama ain't got that, you can forget it. You can't play. So now you don't see African Americans being as prominent in the league like you once did because you don't have the opportunity. You can't afford it. So not the best players are in the major league to me. The people that could afford it are in the major leagues to me.
Yeah, and if you got a dual athlete, say you got a kid from the hood that plays both sports, not even at the youth level. I'm talking about now we get into high school, and you got a kid that plays both sports, and he gets a full scholarship to go play football at USC, but he gets a dual scholarship or 50% to go play baseball at UCLA. He's got to take the football scholarship. You can't make up that 50% of the scholarship to go play. So you have to, like they price us out at that level where we have to go play football and don't even give us that opportunity because we can't even afford to make up that money to pay to go to college.
See, you got to elaborate on that because I don't think they understand. Most people think when you get a scholarship, it's a scholarship. In baseball, you got to throw like that or you got to hit the ball out the park. You got to hit the ball 450 feet consistently to get a full ride in baseball in college. It ain't like that.
Yeah, and even me, nobody was giving me a full ride. And getting back to where you're talking about why I didn't pick football, nobody was giving me a full ride to play baseball, even with the talent that I had in high school. It was still dual. We want to get you on campus, see how you look at football, and then maybe we'll let you play baseball. But I knew as soon as I got on campus, they was going to turn me into a 350-pound tackle. It wasn't going to be no tight end. I was going to be an offensive tackle. And I wasn't interested in blocking for people. I scored touchdowns.
So there was no tight end in your history?
It wasn't going to be no blocking.
No tight end. There was none of that.
I told you that brother's smart. I told you he's smart.
I had the frame to be a tackle, and I knew that. So it was going to be over for my pitching career as soon as I went on college campus. So, Yeah, I mean, there was no second thought of me going and taking that football scholarship to Hawaii. No chance.
Dion, he educated me or put me on to. I'm a thinker, I'm a center by trade, catcher if you want to do it that way. But one of the things he told me about was he mentioned Lee Smith, because I was asking, what's it like to have Lee Smith at the time or Randy Johnson? And he brought up this notion that it was like, because of the height, it was a different dynamic, because it was almost like when they released the ball, they were putting it on your bat. Mm-hmm. Talk about the advantages you had at being 6'6" and being able to throw gas, and what dynamics and problems that caused.
Yeah, I mean, no, it was because my delivery was so simple. It was always an advantage for me to be able to just stay tall and just kind of fall down off of the mound. Like, I never really pushed off the mound, so I would use my weight and my leverage and kind of just fall down the mound, and then my arm would just come after. So, I mean, like he said, with Lee Smith and Randy Johnson and, all these different tall pitchers, I just always wanted to feel like I was like out in front and feel like I was on top of the hitter. And for the most part, when I was younger, that worked pretty well.
What was the biggest adjustment that you had to make when you get to the bigs, man?
I think the biggest adjustment I had to make was just throwing strikes, like pitching to contact. I tried to strike everybody out, like, as soon as they stepped in the box. And I would end up, 6-7 pitches to every hitter. And not until I was trying to get ground balls, then I end up 0-2, 1-2 to everybody, and I'm striking them out easier. So I had to learn how to pitch to contact, because I was just so scared of giving up hits, because I was so worried about getting sent down all the time. Man, every day I showed up to the park, I was worried about getting sent down.
It's funny, because that's a scary thing. That really is. Like, baseball, not a lot of people talk about it, but there's a whole minor league full of dudes ready. So if you start tripping, hey, man, you start thinking about it, don't make eye contact with the manager after the game. If it's going bad, don't even make eye contact. Let's get on out of there, man. That thing is real.
Especially when you're young, the first couple of years.
Talk about this. We were talking earlier about now we got this new versus culture where we not only music but also fighting. We were talking about Tyson and Holyfield fighting, and one of the comments that Dion made in the conversation was about one of Tyson's, maybe it was his last fight. People were booing and throwing stuff, and that kind of thing. What's it like playing for the Yankees? Because it seems like it's like that every day.
You know what? I enjoy it. They keep you humble. And they keep you, on top of your game, because at any moment, they'll boo you out of there. I seen them boo Derek Jeter. Once I seen that, then I can't take nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? They boo this man off the field, then hey, I got to take whatever's coming my way. You know what I'm saying? So, but they keep you working. They keep you humble. They keep you hungry. I mean, I'd be in here working out in the off season, thinking about a game in May that I pitch against the Red Sox. If I'm not pitching well, they're gonna boo me off the mound. So, I mean, I really enjoy being a part of this culture and being a part of these fans as an older player. I don't know if I could have taken it as a younger player, but in my in my late 20s coming here, it kept me humble.
How has the game changed, man, since you got in it? Now it seems like everybody trying to launch. Everybody trying to hit the ball at the park. And I can remember more of a game moving base runners around, bunting to get them over to get them in now, man. It seems like everybody's digging in and trying to knock the cover off that thing.
Yeah, and nobody changes their approach. Remember, with 2 strikes, you choke up or spread out and try to put the ball in play. It's none of that. They don't come out of their approach at all. Everybody's just trying to launch the ball 900 feet, which makes it easier as a pitcher, you know what I mean, to get strikeouts or, like I said, to pitch to contact, because everybody's they don't care about strikeouts no more.
Wow.
To the organizations, a strikeout is just an out. Where back when we was coming up and when you played, a strikeout was a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was like a taboo thing. Guys just struck out too much, never really made it to the big leagues, whether you can hit or not. So now they don't care about that. So they let these guys just stay in their approach and just literally try to launch balls. And on the flip side of that, the pitching, all the starters now are basically long relievers. Nobody can pitch into the 6th, 7th inning anymore. They just want you to throw your best pitch as hard as you can for as long as you can. So if you got a slider, throw 700 sliders in a row, and then when it ain't working no more, then we'll bring the next guy in. You know what I'm saying? So the philosophy and everything and the way the game has changed, the athleticism is out of the game. You know, Mookie Betts gets on base and still second and third in a World Series game, and they act like it's never been done before. You ain't never seen Ricky Henderson play.
Right.
You ain't never seen Deion on the field. Like, I mean, that athleticism is gone because, they don't even care for you to be running the bases anymore well.
In football, we have, and I'm talking about the question ultimately being, is it good for the game or not, the change? Because the chicks dig the long ball thing in baseball. I think that was the precursor for this curse that I think is infesting baseball, that we're getting away from those things. Do they bunt anymore? I haven't watched a lot of baseball. Are they still bunting? Is that against the rules?
No, it's none of that athleticism no more. It's none of that type of stuff. And there's no action. For us saying that chicks dig the long ball and we want to see homers, yeah, that's cool, but we want to see action in between that. So now you got the shift where guys can't hit the ball on one side of the field. So everything that's in the hole is an out now anyway. So there's no action. It's just strikeouts and home runs.
Wow.
Nobody want to watch that on TV. That's why nobody watches the games on TV.
He keep it 100. He keep it that thing 100, man.
But the question becomes, though, but you pick up right there where you left off. Watching the game. It's a different watch. Baseball become more regional. How does that problem get fixed? Because the other part, I'm going to back up to another piece. The way you guys were sounding, there won't ever be any more black people ever to play baseball again unless they're one of your kids. That's a problem. And then you have the fundamental problems with the game, it seems like, where people are just kind of turned off by it.
Yeah. The games are long. I think to get people more interested on the national level, I think MLB needs to do a better job of using their players in their sponsorships.
True.
If you watch the NFL or you watch the NBA and the State Farm or the Pepsi commercials, it's all their stars. And even, to a certain degree, you got Deshaun Watson doing AWS commercials and different things like, where's Mookie Betts and where's Mike Trout and some of these sponsored commercials that make these guys national stars, So it's just appealing to a bigger audience that I think MLB needs to do a better job of doing that. As far as the black kids playing, the thing is they're playing. I thought that there weren't a lot of kids playing. I got a 17-year-old right now that is on the perfect game circuit, and there's a lot of kids out there playing, and they really talented. We just got to get them the opportunities and get them the looks at some of these bigger tournaments to get them into colleges and to get them drafted.
This is my problem with that. When to answer that question, why the black kids ain't playing? First of all, ain't no girls going to watch no baseball game. Okay, let's get that straight.
True.
It's too long. It's too slow. It ain't sexy. They want to watch basketball. It's a lot of action. They want to watch football. That's the bravado sport in the hood. It will always be. But baseball is a whole different thing. You got to be in there. You ain't getting no props from the homies. Hey, man, won't you drop me off at the baseball field? They just bust out laughing. Man, baseball? What's wrong? Baseball? They y'all playing baseball, man? Yeah, like that. That's the reason. And then thirdly, we don't have fathers that ever played. Fathers teach their kids what they know. What Stacey said? Yeah. Hey, man, I got a son playing the perfect game circuit. Son,
yeah.
All right? You got to teach my kids play it because I played. It's mandatory in my house. You're going to pick up that bat and do something until we exhaust this thing. But ain't no fathers know how to play. So they can't teach, so they don't even put the bat or the glove in the kids' hands.
But see what he was saying, like that laughing, like it was not like in the hood when we said we played baseball from Vallejo, like you had to play baseball.
Right.
There was no like making fun of or none of that. Like it was like one of those things where like if you didn't play baseball, we made fun of you.
True.
It was weird growing up out there. And another great point is all our fathers were the coaches. Literally all our dads were the coaches and ran the league, the managers ran the all-star teams and all of that stuff. And now, you don't have that in the hood and that's where it's lacking for real because your dad has to teach you how to play baseball more than any other sport.
Yes.
You can go to the park with the homies and go play hoop, play football in the street and pick that up. But it has to be an older adult male that has to teach you how to play catch and teach you the fundamentals of baseball.
Who do you like to watch pitch today?
I don't don't really like to watch pitching. I want to see offense. Like, I don't want to watch a 1-0 game. I'd much rather watch 11-9 slugfest. So I like to watch like good hitting. So I like to watch the Dodgers lineup. I watch the Brewers all the time. Seattle has a couple of good hitters I like to watch. But if I am watching pitching, Seattle has a couple of young guys. Justice Sheffield and Justin Dunn are kind of like my little brothers, so I'll watch those two. But other than that, I want to see some home runs, man.
He talking like honestly, he's talking like a National League pitcher where he want to dig in. He want to get his bat. He's been in American League. He want to get his bat and get his turn.
Did you miss that piece of it? Did you miss that piece of the game?
I definitely wish I pitched in the National League longer. I had those couple months and ended up with 3 home runs. I know I would have had.
Oh yeah. Ended up with 3. You say he kept track of that thing. He kept track of that thing.
Well, I know my hitting stats more than my pitching stats. I don't even know my pitching numbers.
Well, there's 200 and some change on the upper side of 250 on the pitching stats on the win side. I just hope in time, as this process goes, it finds a way to deliver you into Cooperstown with some of the other great players. You mentioned Jeter and some others and Mariano and so on and so forth. And we appreciate you joining us, my brother.
We love you, man. Like you a real one to us, man. Like, we love you, man, for what you do, what you stand for, the way you represented yourself all these years. We truly got love for you, man. That's why we wanted to have you.
Oh, I appreciate that. And thanks for having me. And like I said, Prime, growing up in the era when you was doing your thing, it made it easy to be a dual athlete, and the reason why I'm sitting here. So thank you.
God bless you, man.
Take care, my brother.
I appreciate it. Dion,
I don't use the phrase I should use to start this thing off, but Georgia boot makes the world's most comfortable boot. I want to start with that. They have really completely changed the game. When you start talking about quality footwear, and Georgia boot's been around for over 80 years. They've done some amazing things, and again, changing the game. When you think about it, they've got some nice loafers that you could wear. They'd be great with some khakis or some jeans. They also have Georgia boots. And when you start talking about the boots, they're all kind of boots. You're talking about steel toe, soft toe, square toe, Met guard, non-puncture shank. All of the things that you look for in a boot. And the thing I like about it is they brought style to the game. They brought fashion to the game. All their boots look good. Whether you're riding on a tractor, that's right, because if you want to get on the tractor with some of the boots that they have there, that boots look good too. And it's soft. We want you to log on to georgiaboot.com. That's georgiaboot.com. Use the offer code PRIME. Get yourself a 21% discount. That's right, it's the holiday season. Now, you can't hang these boots over the fireplace. Well, you could if you want to, but the point of the matter is there is no better time than right now for you to go out there and get yourself some Georgia boots, or get your man some Georgia boots, or whoever you feel needs to get some Georgia boots. And again, we want you to log on to georgiaboot.com. That's georgiaboot.com. Use the offer code PRIME. That's PRIME. And we're going to give you a 20% discount. That's georgiaboot.com. Welcome back, 21st and Prime, boy.
I couldn't hit him. He too tall coming from that side. I couldn't deal with the big fella.
You remember you told me that about Lee?
Yeah.
I mean, and
Lee Smith,
it always kind of.
Randy Johnson, like he's finger rolling the ball right there.
Yeah. And it's coming out at 90.
He ain't strength too. See?
That had to be crazy.
I ain't want none of that.
And
see, he gonna look at you too. Like, all right, okay. You want some? Like, he gonna look at you too after he break you off. Like, you run up here if you want to. Like, no, dog. I don't want. I don't want none. I don't want none of that. I'm good.
Now I want to move over and talk real quick before we get out of here. NFL, dude, it's kind of crazy, and what I mean by that is, other than and they're struggling, kind of grinding this too. Kansas City, I don't know what's happening.
Kansas City ain't struggling.
No,
ain't struggling.
Well, I want to. Okay, so I'm glad you stopped right there. Okay, I got a question for you. I got a question for you. So, and I remember seeing this with champion. It's about champions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
they won one time.
Every game.
You can't call folks champions. They won one. Don't do that.
Well, no. When you're defending the championship.
Okay.
Because I go back to Dallas. There were a lot of grinder games.
They won multiple.
No, but I'm saying, but in the process of them